What the hell are you doing here?
You think I'd let you do this on your own?
I'm just a girl, not a threat. Well, I'm here, aren't I? Gross.
Hey everybody, so the latest Last of Us Part 2 trailer just dropped during yesterday's State of Play, and it was pretty good. I think that Naughty Dog killed it with this trailer. First off, the game is absolutely gorgeous, and it looks like it's going to be a very dark storyline. Neil Druckmann already stated that where the first game centers around love, this one's going to center around hate. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a vengeance story as far as I can tell. Obviously it's going to be a bit more complicated than that, but by the looks of things, from this trailer anyway, the story is going to start off that way. We see what is suggested to be your love interest Dina getting brutally killed. We see Tommy's dam turn into a thriving community. We see some new enemies. We see Joel, and we get a release date. So I'm going to go through this thing and try and analyze everything while giving some predictions as to what might happen. But due to the unconventional nature that Naughty Dog likes to release their trailers, tell a story, and all around develop their games, especially The Last of Us, all of my observations are purely speculation. After all, knowing how the community reacts with fan theories and whatnot, they are not going to spoil the game before it's released. Which is why I think that the entirety of this trailer is at the beginning of the game and we have only seen the tip of the iceberg as far as story is concerned. Naughty Dog is smart, and I'm almost sure that what develops during the game won't even come close to any predictions that anyone will make. But it's sure fun to talk about. So right off the bat, in the first shot here, we see what I'm almost sure is Tommy's dam. The comparison between this shot and the last shot in The Last of Us is almost uncanny. You see a fenced-in community surrounded by mountains.
How would you rate our kiss from last night?
So in this scene, Dina, Ellie's love interest, asks her how she thinks their kiss was from last night, implying that the last night before was actually the scene that we saw in the gameplay trailer released last year at E3. This also kind of implies that this was their first kiss, and even though that they've probably known each other for a while, being in this group, this is probably the start of a romantic relationship between them. And is that a joint they're smoking? Someone has time to grow weed while worrying about surviving and being attacked by scavengers?
Ricky! Oh my God!
So we see Tommy sitting, and it looks prosperous and thriving. We see people working, socializing, riding horses, they have electricity and lookout towers, and there's a dog taking a dump in the middle of the street. Here you even see a butcher shop with a bunch of meat hanging. You see kids playing, and the stores even have signs on them. So it really looks like within the past 5 years, this community has really developed.
Look who decided to join us. All right. You all know the drill. Run your routes. Mark your logbooks.
So here we see Jesse saying, "Look who decided to join us."
Look who decided to join us.
Meaning that Ellie and Dina were somewhat late for presumably a scheduled scavenging or patrol mission. He's the same Asian dude from the last trailer that complained that Ellie's old man laid into him and lectured him about his patrols.
Your old man really laid into me today.
What happened?
Another big lecture about my patrols. Don't go here, don't go there.
But due to the context of this trailer, I don't think that he's talking about Joel. I think that he's talking about Tommy. We don't know why or even if Joel has been away, but I'm guessing that Joel left Tommy the responsibility of taking care of Ellie for whatever reason. And since 5 years have passed, and if Joel hasn't been around, Ellie would have known Tommy for a lot longer than she knew Joel, which would make sense for her to refer to Tommy as her father figure. Here we see a dead moose, which looks like it's been ravaged by the infected. It's also notable that there's steam coming from the carcass, implying that it's just been killed and there might be some infected close by. Here we see Ellie and Dina get into a bit of trouble. Notice that Ellie's wearing a mask. In The Last of Us, Ellie is immune to the virus and doesn't need to wear a mask. Could she be susceptible to the virus now? Also notice that Dina is the one shooting the gun and Ellie seems to be knocked out. And look at this badass looking clicker. Those aren't the ones in the first game. This one looks amazing. They definitely have evolved. And this one is a female, you could tell, because you could see her mushroom titties. Here, Ellie is riding a horse alone and calling out for Dina, who most likely got captured while Ellie was knocked out.
Dina, where are you?
But why wouldn't these guys take Ellie too? Were they trying to lure her for some reason? Maybe thinking that Ellie would go back and round up a search party so they could kill them as well? So Ellie finds a cabin here with lights on and decides to check it out, and when she goes inside, it's ominously empty. So she goes downstairs to find a blood trail and gets ambushed by whoever is down there.
Get off me! Please stop! No!
It cuts to a badly beaten Ellie, forced to watch these guys brutalize and kill who we think is Dina. But then again, you don't see her, so it might be somebody else. Remember, Naughty Dog could just be messing with us. But most likely Dina. Why they kept Ellie alive and made her watch is unclear at this point. Here we see a very vulnerable and badly beaten Ellie. And it looks as if that she might have been sharing a room with Dina. You can barely make it out in the background, but there's a closet, and it looks like they're dresses and possibly the cowboy boots that Dina was wearing during the last trailer. Ellie wouldn't wear this type of stuff. I'm assuming that there was a bit of a time jump between the first joint smoking scene that we saw earlier and the rest of the trailer. Because why would Ellie be sharing a room with Dina and go on a revenge rampage for someone that she had one kiss with? They must have had an established romantic relationship after this first scene. Then you see Tommy bring her a box. I'm guessing that it contains some of Dina's belongings, since from the next scene on, she's wearing her bracelet in remembrance, the same way that Joel wore his daughter's broken watch. You also get to see a glimpse of her tattoo here, which I'm bringing up because it's of a butterfly. And according to Google, it represents endurance, change, hope, and life. And it could also represent the passing of a loved one, which could explain the whole Joel is a part of her subconscious fan theory. But I think that is debunked now from the end of this trailer, which I will get into later.
You have no idea what you're walking into.
What are you doing?
You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care.
So Tommy is trying to persuade Ellie not to go and hunt down this group. By herself, I might add. But he lets her go alone anyway, which is a bit weird considering their relationship. They also know absolutely nothing about them, which means that they are in fact a new group. They can't be the Fireflies because Joel pretty much killed all of them. But who knows, it's been 5 years, there could have been some leftovers and established himself again. Here, Ellie's hand starts shaking just like it did in the first trailer. Obviously because her nerves are shot and probably she has some mental issues. Now here's a montage of Ellie fucking shit up. And man, look how awesome this game looks. This is seriously on par with Red Dead Redemption 2 and maybe even surpass it with the inevitable PS5 release. The level of detail here is amazing. It's worth pointing out that this woman is wearing a strange uniform with some sort of crest on her jacket. Maybe hospital scrubs? Because in this scene, it seems like there's a hospital bed in the background. So, looks like you'll be going to a hospital for some reason at some point in the game. These infected guys are definitely new. They look kind of like a cross between a clicker and a bloater. And Ellie's using a badass looking rifle with a scope on it. Close range for some reason. And we get a dog here. It doesn't look infected, but it has a harness on, so it's not wild either. Probably a guard dog for whatever group that Ellie is after. Now this is interesting. This guy looks zombie-ish. Not an infected, maybe an early stage or someone who just turned. Regardless, he's something that we haven't seen before. Now here's the big Joel reveal. Now watch Ellie's face like she knew within a second that it was him. Also, she doesn't act that surprised to see him. Almost like she was expecting him to come.
What the hell are you doing here?
You think I'd let you do this on your own?
Now after the first trailer was released, people were speculating that Joel was dead due to the white light he emerges from and the all-around clean look that he had. Clean hands, clean clothes, and a calm voice.
What are you doing, kiddo? You really gonna go through with this?
So it was kind of like Ellie's perception of him. So at this point in the game, I do think that Joel is alive due to the cut on his face, the gray hair, and the grimy look that he has, and the fact that he's there to save her. That's not to say that he's not dead in the first trailer. I do believe that Joel meets up with Ellie at this point to help her, and then most likely dies sometime soon after. And then the game probably continues with Joel talking to her as a part of her subconscious, or conscience. So during this trailer, you see Ellie all banged up and cut with dead bodies all around her, and then clean Joel coming out of the light and asking if she's really going to go through with this, with her infamous reply, "I'm going to kill every last one of them."
You really gonna go through with this?
I'm gonna find. And I'm gonna kill. Every last one of them.
At this point, I think that she has kind of lost it. It would make sense. This group, whoever they are, just killed her lover and now Joel. You see her hand shaky thing again, and she decides to randomly play the guitar at the scene of a massacre. I do think that everything that we've seen in all of these trailers is just the beginning of the game. Whether Joel dies early remains to be seen, but I do think that he will die before the end of the game. I also think that he will be your companion for the majority of the game, dead or alive. Ellie isn't going to go solo. There has to be banter and someone to give her advice. Remember that she's on the verge of losing her mind. She needs someone to somewhat keep her in line. Now there's the question of the motivation for the group that's after Ellie. Who are they? What do they want? Could they be after Joel for some reason? Do they know about Ellie's invulnerability towards the virus and maybe after her to cultivate a cure? And why did they let her live? There's also fan speculation that Ellie's pregnant or that the group wants to artificially inseminate her, assuming that her baby would have the same immunity as she does. This comes from an Easter egg in Uncharted 4, which shows a pregnant woman on a Last of Us comic. This one is a bit far-fetched, but makes a bit of sense. People were debunking this one because the woman on the cover was wearing a gas mask and saying that it was just Ellie's mother and she was pregnant with Ellie. But we just saw Ellie wearing a gas mask for some reason, so I don't know. But again, it just might be Naughty Dog messing with us. I don't think that they would drop that big of a spoiler on us so early on. And what the hell was Joel doing those 5 years? Where was he? Also, how did he know that Ellie was in trouble and go to help? He didn't just decide after 5 years to go say hi at that exact moment that she needed him. He had to have been keeping tabs on her somehow. My guess is Tommy. Tommy knew that she was pretty much going on a suicide mission by herself and contacted Joel. I don't know why Tommy just didn't go and save her himself. He's perfectly capable. Maybe he knew that he had a community to run and didn't want to jeopardize his life. Who knows? All I know is that I'm really looking forward to this game. The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm hoping that The Last of Us 2 will at least reach the same level as the first one did. Oh, and I almost left out the best part of the trailer. It comes out February 21st of next year. Get excited, guys. Mark your calendars. Okay, I think I went on long enough with this analysis. I hope you liked it. And as you could probably see, this is a very new channel and one of my first videos, so any subscription will be appreciated. Leave some comments, let me know your theories, and peace out, guys.